This is Forrest Cheney. If you Google his name, you really won't find much. Like, at best, you might see some vague references to his career as a concert violinist, or maybe some collector on an antiquing blog talking about a special type of record player that Cheney invented, but that's pretty much all you're gonna get. Which is kind of a shame, because if you were around back in the early 20th century, then there was a very good chance that you just might know Forrest Cheney as a whole lot more than a run-of-the-mill inventor or musician. No, to you, Forrest Cheney was the violinist of the occult. Yeah, Mr. Cheney had a real intimidating reputation. For years, he toured the country as a musician in tune with the devil. And it wasn't just that he was like writing songs about demons either. Like, Forrest Cheney actually believed in this like whole entire complicated system of aura and energy and magnetic forces that he thought he could harness to penetrate the soul of anyone who heard the wail of his violin. Which is what I want to tell you about today. Our friend Forrest here is one of those lost eccentrics of history that I think deserves a little attention. So, let me fill you in on his aura system. The crux of his thinking here was that every single human being on the planet radiates a certain energy that Cheney calls their vibratory radiance of personal magnetism, which for short, he just refers to as auras. Now, unlike most people, Cheney can actually see everybody's aura. They appear to him as like a thin mist surrounding the body. And it is this ability to see auras that allows Forrest to talk so authoritatively about them. See, according to him, your aura is a reflection of your personality. In his mind, auras determine everything about human interaction. Love at first sight, for example, is just two people with compatible auras meeting for the first time. And if a couple of guys make really good business partners, well, that's just due to their auras being in alignment. And hey, if someone brutally murders somebody else, well, that was just a deadly explosion caused by the severe antagonism of the magnetic radiations of the persons involved. Clearly, any good jury would find the murderer not guilty with that in mind, right?
But hey, I know what you might be thinking, that there's not really anything all that special or unique or creative about this whole
aura thing, right? And you'd kind of be correct. I mean, there's been plenty of people and cultures in history that have believed something, at least loosely similar to this personality vibration thing, right? But the difference with old Forrest is his steadfast belief that he can channel these human magnetic energies through his violin. After years and years of practice, Forrest says that he can charge the tone of his violin with subtle waves of magnetic force in a method that he refers to as the occult melody. And he's not the only one either. According to Forrest, most great musicians also have this ability. It's just that they don't really know how to control it. You know, they're just kind of like sending out magnetic life energy accidentally, incidentally, through the quality of their music. So if you ever like listen to a song that you really like and you feel goosebumps raise on your arm and the hair stand at attention on the back of your neck, well, that is just the artist unconsciously wielding magnetic power over you. Forrest, though, he can do it on command. Every note played on his violin is done with the deliberate intent to stir the soul. And to do it, Cheney's got to enter this like hypnotic trance too, where he's basically just swaying around up there, half asleep on the stage, emanating out the call of the occult. And the newspapers at the time just absolutely ate this up. Like, I found an unbelievable amount of interviews and descriptions of what the concerts were like, and they are just an absolute treat to read through. Like, we got journalists talking about how Cheney's psychic melodies sent shivers down their spine, and claims that Forrest was possessed by the devil, promises that whether you're an aristocrat or a common man, Forrest Cheney can and will have your skin crawling, for he is the wizard of sound, the modern-day Pied Piper, the high priest of the mystic brotherhood, and he will hypnotize any crowd with the utterly alien tone of his violin. The weird, unnameable quality of his music will pour into the soul of the listener like an exquisite wave. And you know, apparently one time he even accepted a bet that he couldn't work his magic on a room full of hecklers expecting like a vaudeville comedy. But nope, he got them too. Just another crop of hapless victims under his spell. And the best part of all this is just how completely open Cheney is about his technique and beliefs and everything too. Like, I found this one just amazing essay thing he wrote for like a magazine where he's talking about what it's like to perform on a stage, and it is just chock full of great quotes. The man or woman who wins fame and fortune before the footlights must be a temperamental athlete. He must be able to receive the impact of a compound magnetic blow. A great audience is a powerful battery composed of many cells which transmits its wireless force to the man who dares to face it. The most powerful man may be easily knocked off his feet if he is not prepared to meet the blow. Great stuff, right? I mean, it really is not a bad description of what it feels like to be on stage in front of a whole bunch of people, right? But you know, there's kind of a dark side to this whole thing too. Because by now, I'm sure that some of you are imagining that this whole thing was just like a big performance from Cheney, right? That he was just making up all this stuff to try and capitalize on the spiritualist boom that was happening at the time. But I don't know. I'm pretty convinced that Cheney was very sincere about all this magnetic force stuff. I really think he believed it. You see, while I was researching this video, I actually found one newspaper article that really did not fit in with the others. Well, the vast majority of these like occult violinist articles were published somewhere in like the early 1910s. This one was written decades before that, in 1888, years before anybody was talking about the famed psychic powers of Forrest Cheney. And this article was about a young woman who had just recently filed for divorce from her husband. The woman, described as young and beautiful, had only known her future husband for a few weeks before she agreed to get married. But that didn't matter to her, for she was a lover of music. And this man was a truly wonderful violinist. But, unbeknownst to the woman, the man had hidden his true self from her during their courtship. Immediately after their wedding, a sinister side to the violinist began to bubble up to the surface. All of a sudden, even the slightest criticism of his playing would send him flying into a rage. In the grips of anger and madness, he would drag his bow across the strings, intentionally raising an ear-splitting screech meant to punish those who would dare question his music. And even more startling, he claimed the ability to hear and sense things in the music that no other human could detect. Sonic forces invisible to the common man. Certain tones would conjure in his mind human faces and visions of the devil. Whispers echoed in his head, the sweet voices of the South calling out and guiding his bow. So of course, all this proved to be way too much for our young newlywed. She filed for divorce and got out of there as soon as she could, leaving again Forrest Cheney utterly alone with the song of the devil. Thank you for watching.